Welcome, everyone. My name is Mahmoud, and I teach men how to come back to themselves. I do this out of the painful experiences that I had to go through in order to find myself. So, everything that I talk about today is coming from learned experience. And even if it's not, I will let you know beforehand. What I chose to move through as my purpose is guiding men to themselves, into their embodiment, and exploring a world where presence is the experience. But of course, talk is all beautiful. The language can dance around and make us feel hopeful that there is another beautiful experience out there. And that's the whole trick. And the trick starts with the mind. It starts with a magic trick that we do every day. And that magic trick, it's done every day by everyone in plain sight. That it's so ordinary, yet so extraordinary when we start to be present with it. And that is thinking. Every day we perform this magic trick. And just visualize with me, you're in a car, you're going through your work or you're going to your gym, and a small thought, small wave just comes in. You think about something that happened yesterday, 2 days ago, a week ago, maybe a fight with your beloved. And you don't even remember that after the thought has just went through, your shoulders might be already bracing. Your jaw might be already clenched. The chest may be already trying to cave in. And as you do this movement, this is just the shoulders trying to protect you from another thing which is not happening in the present moment. Yet, this is where most men and most people get stuck, ruminating on a pain that has happened. And this is not to take away from the experience, any painful experience that we as human beings go through. But the idea is that there is an opening for us, an invitation for us as human beings to understand that we are not just a body, we are not just an ego, and we are not this separate entity. And to understand this means to understand that we have a choice and we have a power. We have a power to choose to be victims, or we have a power to see what happened to us as a reflection and a gift to move forward and expand. So coming back to this rut feeling, ruminating on a pain that has already passed. There is self-talk happening in your head, and notice that the body always reflects without question. So you have voices and mental images working on the head, yet your body is reflecting in sensations, and it doesn't come and say, yo man, better wake up, you're thinking bad thoughts and I'm tensing here. The body just reflects. Think of a thought that brings doubt and you find your body tensing. Think of an idea that brings hope, that brings God, and put their attention there and you feel an opening. But the thing is, what are you most comfortable with? Are you comfortable with being small, or are you comfortable with being big and large? And this is what happened, is that we as human beings, genetically, we're coming in from a species that thousands of years ago, they were protecting themselves and they had to survive from cheetahs, lions, they really had to take the quickest of steps in order to survive, or they're dead. Thing is, in our genetic makeup, we have carried that by inheritance. So, say for example, you're receiving a really, really triggering email from your boss, or your wife talks to you in a bad tone, or maybe a fight that you had with your father. Notice that these sensations that come through this fear response, this threat response, is the same response that our ancestors had to these dangerous situations. The thing is, as human beings, when our amygdala or our limbic system starts to have this threat response, and we have all of these chemicals in rushing through our body, we tend to think about them and consume that energy, and somehow our ego, the separate self, will do everything in its power to protect you, bless its function, but it also will keep you small. So it will try its best, especially with unresolved pain, trauma, or wounding. It will try its best to keep you away from repeating the same cycle, the same situation, which caused you that pain. But the thing is about attraction theory and attraction power is that if you fear something like that, you will almost certainly attract it. So we find ourselves always asking, why do I attract the toxic partner? Why do I always, try to show up differently, yet I get, all of these bad people giving me bad tones or whatever? You have to understand, yes, the reflection you don't prefer, but it's reflecting to you something that is inside of us. So, where to start? Do we start from the body or do we start from the mind? The answer is start from the body. And sometimes most of us will say, the mind comes first, but it's the body. How are your shoulders? How is your chest? Are you breathing deeply, my brother? Or is the breath just shallow into your heart? As you're listening to me now, are you connected with the lower part of your legs? Do you feel the seat beneath you? And because we are in this modern day and age, we're so accustomed and conditioned to be in the thinking mind, we have lost that we as human beings are swimming in an ocean of infinite sensations. And in those sensations lie our liberation. So think of it. Do you want to be the thinker or do you want to be the breather? And the breather is objective and he feels and emotions, and the body speaks in sensations and feelings, while the mind speaks in voices and mental images. And to understand this sophistication that is a human being is to also marvel of how we are created. And big breath here. We are invited to understand the languages. The ego is not bad. The voices are not bad. Your emotions and your bodies are not bad. It's just a process. And in that process, are you suffering or are you expanding? And at one point, doing this work for myself, I had to really start to see different parts of me and detach it from connecting to each other. And this is a beautiful healing trick. Whatever happens in the mind are just voices, but if it connects with part of my body, and if that thought has a low frequency to it, then basically I will start to radiate low frequency energy. So forgiveness and as well patience as we do this healing work. Knowing that the way out is not another thought, but another sensation. So always returning to the weight inside of your body, always returning to the breath, always returning to the sensations moving through your palm of the hands, always feeling the ground underneath your feet. And let's take a pause and do that. Bring your attention and your breath to the soles of your feet. You don't have to think about it. It's just there. Now bring your attention to the back of the knees. And as you're putting your attention there into sensation land, also redirect the breath to that body part. Bring your attention to the heart. And without analyzing, without judging, whatever contents in the heart there is, redirect the breath as if the heart is breathing and inhaling and exhaling. Notice that out of the overthinking mind lies another world of, or another language that is the body. And maybe you bring your attention now to your head space. And notice if you are an overthinking type, I am too. Sometimes you will find in the sensations in the head space that there is a tension. That tension could be in the jaw, or it could be in the forehead. And if you're doing this body scans a lot, you will almost feel even the eyes, the muscles in the back of the eyes, you will feel a tight or a small strain that is asking for your attention. So how do we clear all of this? How do we clear heaviness? How do we clear our depression? How do we clear our symptoms? How do we heal? And the first thing that was hard for me to hear was patience. Because clearing is slow. And you can't think your way through it. You can't think your way to enlightenment. You can't think your way through healing. You show up, and you show up, and you show up. And maybe the clearing takes a week. Maybe the clearing takes a month. For me, it took years. For me, I am still believe, and I still see that I am still in my clearing process. But you wake up one day and you find that you're less in your head. Your overthinking has decreased. Or maybe there's a program running, something that maybe makes you angry, sad, or grieving, and it comes up into your external reality, but you're not interested in it anymore. This is you, your whole process, your whole body ending a cycle and opening up for expansion. So this whole healing process is not about, my brother, to fix yourself. I know it by now, and I'm not like cheesing my way into this. You're perfect the way you are. Currently you are whole and complete. This is not believing it. But you are. So this healing process is not a fix. It's not a journey. It's not a destination. It's a process. It's a process of us stopping feeding our shit. It's a process of stopping, interrupting, not feeding our inner compulsions and addictions. And it's a scary process because you are not just stopping an addiction, you are also allowing parts of yourself to die, a metaphysical death. So the choice, my brother, it's in the spine. Most of the teachers that have the greatest of lessons we didn't ask for. Maybe they are the most teachers that we mostly resent because they come in the form of heartbreak and they come in the form of failure. Failure in a job, failure to show up, the shame of feeling small. And every morning the choice is yours. Some days, every hour, because the triggers are coming in and you feel like a sense that you want to collapse. But the choice is always there. And it's two states in the body, it's not even in the mind. Because you can have the mind all over the fucking place, yet you're choosing. You're choosing either to lose your spine, so the chest caves, the breath goes shallow, you feel heavy, you don't want to go out of the bed, your shoulders roll forward, you're bracing, and you're just not open to life, you're just closed. Don't give me another fucking message, life. Or, my brother, it's carrying your grief, your fear, your whole weight as a gift. Some say carrying the grief on one side and carrying your glorious potential on the other. And here your spine lengthens. Here you could feel gravity pulling you downwards, and you could also feel the heavens pulling your spine upwards. You could feel the whole vertebra, the whole 33 vertebrae in the age of Christ, like a golden ladder. And that ladder is shifting up. So two opposing forces where your spine is moving up and your gravity is pulling you down. And this is how you become in tension. You're gloriously in tune. You're alert, yet you're relaxed. And that is the beautiful balancing game. This is where the breath drops into the belly and the jaw starts to release and give, my brother, your teeth a fucking break. And this doesn't mean that you are in glory land or you're a pleasure land. You could be moving in pain. You could be feeling that you have your needs unmet, but you're carrying them without fighting them. So, we do this all in the body, but what about the mind? Because, you can't think your way out of it, and you can't force to think positive thoughts, and this is not the whole aim of the video. But there is a way where you could use your mind, the attention in the headspace, your inner eye, to affirm. And this is a very strong affirmation that was given to me, and it's so simple. And it says, all is well. All is well under the sun. All is meaningful. And I'm not saying those affirmations to convince myself. It has to come from a place where my mind is saying it from a complete devotion and a complete belief and a complete knowing And that knowing is so strong that this affirmation doesn't just have a thought pattern to it, it washes over the body. My heart listens to it and it starts to relax and it starts to soften. My spine listens to it and it starts to lengthen. My shoulders listen to it and I could start to be open. So again, the teacher that you didn't ask for is the one that will rebuild you. So your worst relationship, the relationship that really hit you rock bottom, the heartbreak, the failure that just took away a month from you just reintegrating. These are the doorways, and these are the teachers, and these are the places where you start shifting away from blaming what happened to you and moving through what it resulted in inside your inner psyche, your inner life, your inner world. And closing up here, this work takes years. It's beautiful because there is no finish line. You just keep on working, you keep on expanding, and you keep on failing. But the beautiful thing that I found out, that when it's done in brotherhood, when it's done in community, it gets a chance to be seen more quickly, to be acknowledged, and to be resolved. And this is why I built a collective, and that collective is called Sacred Brotherhood Collective. And that collective is made for men because I was inspired by a lot of people around me to focus my purpose on men and men's work and men's healing. And this collective is a space that I've built over 3 pillars, and that one pillar is safety. The safety, the emotional safety that we as men did not get because we were men. Intimacy, and it's the ability of us to just look into each other's eyes and see one another, not as a competition between man and man. We drop that, but more and more of the soul that is in front of me. And last but not least, calling out the fucking bullshit with brotherly love. And this is where the expansion happens. Inside this collective that I built and I find myself in, we will get, or you will get in touch with a lot of men that are doing this work. And also see where you want to go on your healing journey. So this is a collective that has several offerings, has resources, articles, my book, and one-on-one sessions. Now, if this is the work that you want to do, brother, in order to show up in a more balanced equilibrium way, or to hold your partner a little way more better, or maybe you want to show up in your job with more boundaries and ask for what you deserve, and this might be the step forward. I will leave it in that. I hope that if you made it till the end, this was resourceful for you. This gave you a bit of insight that maybe you didn't have. And I'll see you on the next one. Go well, brothers.